Greetings to everybody. My name is Jeremy Pittman, and I work here at Coahoma Community College in the capacity of being the director of the Honors College program here. And I also teach in the Business and Computer Information Systems Department. And so what I would like to take a little bit of an opportunity to do with everybody today is to talk about how we as faculty members, we can support our students using a tool called an exam wrapper. So what I've done is I have created a short PowerPoint um, slideshow that we will go through, and then I will show you one of the exam wrappers for my business stats class. So first of all, what we kind of want to talk about is we want to talk about what exactly is an exam wrapper. So pretty much what this is simply just a tool that's used to be given after an exam. Now, truthfully, some faculty members like to utilize this tool both before and after the exam. This is typically a low stakes assignment. In my class, I typically like to give extra points when students complete these. They're just a little one-page worksheet, right? But really what this is about is it really gives the student an opportunity to reflect on how they're actually learning. I do ask questions about study habits. On some of the exam wrappers, I ask specific questions about some of the student learning outcomes or program learning outcomes that may have been tested on the particular exam. So just getting into here a little bit deeper, you know, fellow faculty members, I will tell you, when we started our QEP topic years ago, you may remember the I Read initiative. And one of the great things about the I Read initiative was this getting deep into teaching our students these various different metacognitive processes that they can use to learn. Because truthfully, and let's face it, understanding how to take notes or how to best tackle and solve problems in a business statistics class is different than doing it in a business law class. I teach several different disciplines here at the college. I teach a computer applications course. I teach a computer programming course. I teach business statistics. I teach business law, right? And I also teach the honors program. And so what I can tell you is, when we start to model those behaviors for our students typically in a computer programming class, they can't study the same way that they will study in a business law class. So I think part of that is, we got to do everything we can as a faculty member to help our students to understand that there is no cookie cutter approach. There's no one size fits all when it comes to actually taking the opportunity to develop those different types of skills. So that exam wrapper helps us to teach those metacognitive skills, because guess what? Students get an opportunity to think about their thinking in the context of completing this exam. So, this whole idea of exam wrappers, this is not something that just popped up out of the sky. This is actually an evidence-based strategy. And again, like I told you earlier, you can use this on points for an exam. So let me move my little window around here. Let's kind of just get back into this. So, it's, just like the teacher in us, it's good for us to take an opportunity to review. So just be reminded what metacognition is. Again, for me, I've always had the goal of getting my students to be accountable for their learning. So this particular tool, this exam wrapper, helps to support that, because guess what? Metacognition is helping our students to become the type of problem solver that has a deep level of self-awareness. And then they can actually take control of their learning. And then, I like to tell my students, hey, you can be strategic about how you go and study, because guess what? In a lot of your college classes, many times you may have 2 or 3 exams, right? So that might mean that there is a large amount of material that a student might have to be familiar with in order to take their exam. So by using these metacognitive strategies, I like to think of the acronym KUG, K-U-G. So this helps students to know what they already know, they can understand what they need to work on, and then they can grasp how to best approach the new material. Okay. All right. So this is pretty much how you make your own exam wrapper. So again, y'all, this is very, very straightforward. So the first piece to this is, your task as an instructor is to really think about why you are using this particular tool and to think about what your aims may be. It's not the same for every exam. So my business statistics exam wrapper, it evolves over the course of a semester. So the very first exam, there is some mathematical questions on there that are designed to check to see if a student has those background concepts. And then, of course, the first exam is high in vocabulary, and there's a few quantitative questions. Then from there, the exams become very, very quantitative in nature, and there's opportunities for students to explain various different concepts. So then what you should think about is when you're doing this exam wrapper is then you should think about asking your students to reflect using analysis type questions. So that's very, very important. So when we start talking about Bloom's taxonomy, this isn't really necessarily about them recalling, we need them to analyze. So, of course, that's higher up on Bloom. And then finally, you want to include questions that are designed to help students improve. And so you have different prompts with that. So what I want to do now is I want to kind of just walk through this business statistics exam wrapper. So let me get this exam wrapper up right now. Oh, wow, I went too far. So give me a moment here. And let's get our exam wrapper up so we can review our exam wrapper here. All right. So as we are looking at our exam wrapper, and let me take an opportunity to zoom in on this so we can get into it. So of course, as you can tell, I do have the name of it, and the students can write their name here. And what I pretty much tell my students is, hey, this is really designed to help you look at your exam performance and then to help you figure out what types of things you can do to best help you learn the material in the class. So part of this is teaching our students using a growth mindset by getting them to self-assess their progress. So this isn't necessarily about, hey, Mr. Pittman, I need to come talk to you to figure out how I'm doing in my class. No, a student that is taking responsibility and accountability for their learning already kind of knows where they are inside the class, especially if we as faculty members are doing what we need to do to provide students with that feedback. Hey, talk, please forgive me for that, but just to understand, about that feedback and things like that. So what I ask my students to do is I get them to return this document with any type of correction. And then we utilize this to help those students. And so in my class, they can actually pull the grade up. So what I've done here is, again, this is a very, very quick document here, so it doesn't take a lot of time. I recommend that you keep your exam wrapper to about 1 page. Okay, don't ask students to write a dissertation on the exam wrapper. Try to keep it short. So definitely we want to know how much time do they take to prepare for the exam. And then we kind of just ask based on what we kind of know what students do. These particular 5 points that I have here, this actually comes from an assessment that I give inside of my class called the Student Assessment of Learning Games. And so part of this is from previous semesters, I've kind of thought about and was able to see what was trending about how students were preparing for exams. So then question number 3 is very, very specific here. So again, so for exam 1, there is mostly a discussion of concept, but there are some basic statistical formulas students need to understand. So here students get an opportunity to take a look at their exam. They have to stop, take a look at their exam, and then break down and tell me the number of points that they lost due to the following things. Okay. Y'all, careless mistakes, that's real. And I have found that using this tool, some of my students make careless mistakes. But what I've noticed in using this in my statistics class, and I've been using this in a face-to-face format. So I haven't tried doing this online just yet, might implement it soon. But I do have students that say, hey, Mr. Pittman, I really don't know how to begin a problem. But once they get kick-started trying to solve a problem, then they end up being pretty good. And then question number 4 just simply says, hey, tell me those 3 things that you plan to do different on your next test. So they have this, so there's the open-end analysis question. And then number 5, and students swear we don't read things, but I tell my students number 5 is very, very important. It's to kind of give me some information about what I can do to help them and support them in preparation for their next test. Sometimes that might mean needing to have a study session. That might mean me needing to provide ancillary materials such as Khan Academy. We have, for some of us, we have some of those pandemic learning lecture videos that we created. For those of us that may have been recording using Zoom or using WebEx, so you have those videos, which that's pretty good. And so sometimes my students like to see that, especially when I'm utilizing Excel in my class. So I get them to answer those 5 questions. Normally it takes them about 10 minutes to do it. I hand this back when I hand back the first exam. And then I tell them, hey, you know what? If you're just feeling very, very verbose, if you just got a whole bunch of stuff you want to say to me, flip that piece of paper over, right? Flip that piece of paper over. And then, give, you can have some extra room. Okay. So that's pretty much the business statistics exam wrapper. So finally, I want to share with you 2 key works cited links and sources. And what we'll do is we'll go after each of these real quick. But the first one is by Northern Illinois University's Center for Innovative Teaching and Learning. And so this just kind of helps to give an overview of these metacognitive study strategies. So there's some very, very good tips here. I have taken the opportunity to get in here and to actually share this page with my students and to actually go over this page at the beginning of the semester with my students to try to help them to understand some of the best strategies for taking a particular class. And I know there's a lot of courses out here that concept maps and graphic organizers would be real good. But the second link, if you want to read a little bit more about exam wrappers, then you have Carnegie Mellon University's Everly Center. That's their teaching excellence and educational innovation. And so there are some great examples here of exam wrappers. And I will tell you that I have adapted my particular exam wrapper utilizing this particular website here. So there are just tons of them there in PDF format. So you can always download some of them and put them in the Microsoft Word. So as you can tell, this exam wrapper looks very, very similar, right? Yeah, it looks like I stole it from them. But, I did modify mine based on what I found here. So fellow faculty members, so it's never necessarily hard or necessary to reinvent the wheel. But that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about today. Please forgive me if I was talking fast or if I was kind of stumbling a little bit. One of the things is I really don't like recording myself doing these kind of things. But I hope that this video is as informal as it is, will be useful to you. I want to thank Dr. McAfee at the Center for Excellence of Teaching and Learning here at Coahoma Community College, and for this opportunity to talk to everyone today about exam wrappers. Take care and have a good one.